Okay, good morning. So we're going to do this little chap that is fishing. And the first thing that we're going to do is wet the paper. So very clean water, big brush and water. I've got my paper flat. So all over, including the man. I'm going to have to work fairly quickly and spray a bit because I've got heat. Now, no puddles, just a sheen. That's it. You can see the sheen reflected in the lights on my camera. I'm just going to, that may be just a bit too wet. That's it. Okay, so what I did there is I dried the brush and then just swept it across so that I just took any excess off. Okay, so I'm just going to redo a little bit of the water on it and let it soak in. I'm going to mix up some sky. I'm going to do the sky in a bit of blue. We also want some raw sienna because this is sunset, I think. I'll put a little bit of yellow with my raw sienna just to brighten it up a bit because this raw sienna I've got is very what I call tan rather than yellow. So with the yellow mix or whatever, I'm just going to bring some across there. So above and below the horizon. And a little bit up there. Some of it will be covered up and some won't. Now wash out the brush. I go in with a mixture of, or just some ultramarine at this point, and a couple of sweeps. Try not to disturb the yellow too much, otherwise it will go green. Now I'm going to get a bit of the alizarin crimson, not too heavy because otherwise it will just be totally pink, and just do a sweep that way. It's just mixing the sky really, and I'm just going to put a sweep of that in the water. Probably a little bit of the ultramarine going back to that in the water there. And I'm going to do a little bit of a cloud using ultramarine and a light red, or you can use alizarin crimson to make it a little bit more purple. And I'm just going to have a little bit of an evening cloud coming in at the top. It should all be blending on your paper. So I'm just going to put a little drop, a little bit of that colour right down the bottom to reflect that. It's just a normal a normal sky, really. You can see where the yellow bits are coming through there, and obviously down at the bottom there, where the light's still shining. It's still wet, so I can still fiddle. It's going to be stopped soon, though. That's it. We shall stop that and let it dry. So we've dried, and now I'm going to do the boat with, I'm going to have a little bit of blue. Use cobalt blue down bottom, using a rigger now because I've got, my paper's fairly small. So that's just the bottom of it. And I'm using some burnt umber to do the top of the boat. They're going to bleed in a bit, but that's fine. I'm going to give him some blue trousers, probably cobalt blue trousers. Just going to brush them in. Again, it's bleeding in, but I'm going to give him an orange hat. And I think a yellow shirt. Just using the rigger, nothing exciting. No blending, no special way of doing it. Too much water there. Dab it up with the corner of a tissue. And being blue, it's just push those yellow, sorry, it's just push those trousers out the way. But it's fine. That was a bit of painting by numbers. Okay, so need to do some reflections of that. So I'm using this bigger brush, but with a very sharp fine point. And some of the boat color, I'm just pulling. Actually, it's, so I've made a mix of the boat color and the both of them, and I'm just drawing some reflections in. And then with a brush, damp, it's just damp, and just pulling those out a bit, not making it a completely filled in block, but just so it's just a damp brush, and I'm just pulling them away using the paint that's on the paper already. Then just a damp brush, because we need to put a line there for his trousers. A broken line. There's his trousers. Then we need some yellow. for his top. And maybe just a dot of orange for his hat. I've just got a damp brush and I'm just teasing that out a bit. It's a damp, clean brush, no paint. I'm just teasing out the paint that we put on. I've lost some of that line for the boat, so I'm just going to put some blue back over the base of the boat, and just drop a bit of blue in that reflection because it's still damp and it will take that. I've just gone along the boat color, just slightly along the horizon line, just so that it defines the horizon line, just where the boat is. The rest of it can just fade into sky and lake, I suppose. Just, there's no need to define it at all, unless you want to. We've let it dry for a while, and I'm just going to put, with clean water and using my rigger. That's not clean. Clean water, she says. Damp, and just making sure that you're going vertical. I'm just going backwards and forwards on the paint, and then I'm going to get my tissue and pull it out, and nothing's happened. Right, so again, underneath the sun, if you haven't got your sun in, or it's behind the boat, you're not going to see this. All right, let's try again. No. Oh, well, we should just have to use the white then, won't we? Fine. So going back to the pole, I would think it is. So I'm using Payne's Grey, directly out of the tube. So it's fairly thick, and just very, very carefully trying to draw a straight line. Put some more blue on the bottom of the boat because it's just not working. And we need to reflect this pole. So it's going that way, so it's got to come this way. And I'm just doing dots and squiggles to reflect. So it goes past the man's ear and his orange hat and off. And I'm just putting a little bit of the Payne's Grey underneath the boat because it's just to darken that reflection up there. And then with the same, I'm just going to do a ripple or two. So that's one. And that's two. Down where his pole has gone in. I'm just going to turn my attention back to the boat. The sun is over there. So this bit of the boat, there's going to be shadow. So I'm going to do that in a little bit darker. And he's going to be in shadow on his tummy. So down that side there. So going to make that a little bit darker. Just down that left side of him, and his arm, his left arm is going to be darker. This is because my son is over on the right, and he's going to be a little bit darker in the trousers on the left too. Just darken the bottom of the boat yet again. That bit of the boat, the back bit, is in the full sunlight. So with clean damp brush, agitate it a bit, and then just pat it up. It just takes the colour off, just lifts it off. And just dab in where I put the shadow a little bit, so that it's not quite so strong. So we've got the sun over there. I am going to, with the yellow and raw sienna mix, just near the sun, I'm just going to put a little line on the horizon. That's all. And then it can drift off. And I'm not going to put anything over that side, and I'm not going to put anything over that side. That's about it then. I'm just going to blend that in slightly. Just agitate the two edges together. And the same with his trousers. So I don't know whether I said about having the white, but I've got a little bit of the Dr. Martens white. And where the sun is, I'm just going to do some very gentle little lines. Just coming out, they're little dashes and they're not joined up. They're getting wider as you come further towards you. I'm going to get rubber and just rub out that cross there. And rub out the horizon line there and the horizon line there. Whoa. I think he's probably done. I'm not sure. Do I want to put the white on the sun? I'm just going to put a little bit. Not too heavy. If you haven't done the sun or it's behind your boat, don't worry about this bit. That's better. And I'm just going to put in a little bit of white in that. I'm just agitating that so that it's patchy. And I'm going to do a white bird right at the top there and over here. I think that I may be in danger of fiddling too much, so I'm going to stop.